Growing older is often portrayed as a time of peace, reflection, and well-earned rest. But after 80, the reality can feel far different, more like survival than serenity. While society celebrates longevity, it rarely talks about the quiet battles older adults face every day: shrinking social circles, unpredictable health, and the emotional weight of outliving the people who once defined your life. These aren't just physical changes, they're deeply emotional, spiritual, and psychological shifts that few are prepared for. This video isn't here to scare you. It's here to speak honestly about the experience of aging after 80, to name the silent struggles, and to remind you that awareness isn't pessimism, it's power. By recognizing these truths, you can face them with dignity, strength, and choice. If you or someone you love is nearing this chapter of life, these 7 insights will offer clarity, compassion, and support. Reality 1. The disappearing circle of people. By the time you reach your 80s, one of the most profound and painful changes is the quiet shrinking of your social circle. The phone rings less, invitations become rare, and familiar routines with friends gradually fade away. It's not just about death, though that too becomes a frequent part of life. It's about absence. Friends move to assisted living, neighbors relocate, and even family, though still present, become busy with their own lives, their own grandchildren, their own aging challenges. This slow erosion of connection can leave you feeling invisible. It's not just being alone, it's feeling like fewer people remember you in your prime, fewer people know your story, and fewer are checking to see if you're okay. The result isn't just a quieter calendar, it's a quieter soul. The loss of connection often leads to a loss of identity. But there is hope. While the past cannot be replaced, new bonds can still be formed. Volunteering, joining a senior book club, or simply having regular chats with familiar faces at the grocery store can create meaningful moments of connection. These don't replace what was lost, they help keep you anchored in the present. If you've felt this ache, the silence where voices used to be, know that you're not imagining it, and you're not alone. This is one of the hardest truths of aging, but also one of the most important to acknowledge. Because once you name the emptiness, you can begin to gently fill it again. Your story isn't over, and someone somewhere still needs to hear it. You still matter. And the world still needs the wisdom, humor, and perspective that only someone who's lived your years can offer. Reality 2. The body's subtle rebellion. After 80, your body doesn't always age in ways you expect. It rebels, quietly and inconsistently. One day, your knees feel fine. The next, every step feels like you're climbing a mountain. This isn't the sharp, dramatic decline many imagine. Instead, it's the slow, unpredictable unraveling of energy and strength you once relied on without a second thought. The hardest part? It's not always visible to others. You might still be smiling, still doing your chores, still showing up, but what they don't see is the cost. The skipped meals to avoid heartburn. The way you plan your errands around your best hours. The fact that sitting down isn't about being tired, but about your legs trembling from simply standing. Even sleep becomes uncertain. You might rest soundly for 3 nights, then suddenly lie awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why your mind won't settle. Foods you've eaten for decades start to disagree with you. Your balance feels off. And your body, once predictable, now seems to have a mind of its own. This unpredictability can lead to frustration, even fear. Is this a passing discomfort or a sign of something more serious? Should you see a doctor or wait it out? These questions add emotional weight to physical discomfort. But you're not helpless. Small routines, stretching before bed, drinking warm water in the morning, getting 10 minutes of sunlight, help remind your body that you're still working with it, not against it. Aging doesn't mean giving up. It means adjusting with grace. Listening closely. Moving gently. And knowing that while your body may not be as strong as it once was, your ability to adapt is its own kind of strength, a quiet resilience that carries you forward. Reality 3. The shrinking of personal freedom. One of the most unexpected and frustrating changes after 80 is the slow erosion of your personal freedom. Even if you're mentally sharp and physically capable, people around you, especially loved ones, start making decisions on your behalf. Often, it begins with love and concern. Let me drive you. Don't eat that. You should rest more. But over time, these small gestures grow into assumptions that you can't handle things on your own. This shift can feel like a quiet dismissal of your independence. You've lived a full life, made thousands of decisions, cared for others, built routines. But suddenly, others are telling you how to spend your day, what to eat, when to sleep, even what you're capable of. Conversations turn into instructions. Your opinions are heard, but not always honored. The world starts treating you more like a patient than a person. It can be especially hard when it comes from your own children or caregivers. You understand their intentions, they love you and worry about your well-being. But that doesn't make it any easier when your choices are questioned, or worse, overridden. It can feel like your identity is slowly being erased. Maintaining your independence at this stage isn't about stubbornness, it's about dignity. It's about saying, "Thank you for caring, but I can decide this for myself." Setting boundaries doesn't make you ungrateful, it shows self-respect. Freedom doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means having the right to choose what to eat, how to spend your day, who to spend it with. Those choices are expressions of your personality, your experience, your life. And no matter your age, your voice still matters. You've earned the right to be heard, and to live on your own terms for as long as you're able. Reality 4. The burden of outliving others. By the time you reach 80, loss becomes a familiar presence. You don't just say goodbye once, you say it again and again, to friends who knew you as a child, to siblings who shared your history, and sometimes, to the spouse you thought you'd grow old with forever. Outliving the people you love isn't just painful, it's profoundly disorienting. There's a specific kind of grief that comes with being the one who remembers. You're left carrying the stories, the jokes, the memories, and no one else is left who understands them like you do. You might recall a funny moment from decades ago, only to realize there's no one to laugh with who truly gets it. You reach for the second coffee mug out of habit, hear your spouse's voice in your head, and feel the sting of silence. This isn't just sadness. It's the loneliness of holding an entire shared history alone. Some people also experience a quiet guilt, survivor's guilt. They ask, "Why am I still here?" They replay old choices, missed calls, words left unsaid. And while the sharp pain may dull, the weight never fully disappears. It simply settles deeper. Yet, there is a quiet strength in being the one who remains. There's courage in waking up each morning, choosing to live, choosing to remember. By sharing those memories, with younger family, with a neighbor, with a journal, you keep those you've lost alive in your words. You become their voice. Yes, it hurts. And yes, it's heavy. But in your continued presence, there's meaning. In your memory, there's power. And in your choice to carry those stories forward, there is something deeply beautiful, a legacy that only you can preserve. Reality 5. The emotional cost of outliving others. After 80, loss isn't just an event, it becomes a part of everyday life. And while physical aches may come and go, the emotional pain of outliving those you love settles deep. It's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's the stillness that hurts the most, the quiet mornings, the empty chair across the table, the absence of a familiar voice calling your name. This kind of grief isn't like it used to be. It doesn't always bring tears or collapse. Instead, it lingers in the background like a constant hum, always there, just beneath the surface. It's the realization that no one else remembers your wedding song, the way your best friend laughed, or how your brother used to tease you. These memories become private, and the loneliness is sharper for it. You may still go about your routines, but you carry invisible weight. And it's exhausting, pretending everything is fine, engaging in small talk when your heart feels heavy, smiling for the sake of others when all you really want is a familiar voice to say, "I miss them too." Many older adults don't talk about this grief, not because they don't feel it, but because they assume it's just part of aging, and it is. But that doesn't make it any less real or less worthy of attention. You don't have to hide your sadness. You don't have to pretend you're over it. What matters is that you allow both grief and joy to coexist. Keep opening your heart, even when it's hard. Say yes to new conversations, new connections, even if they'll never replace the ones you've lost. Because connection, even with new people, is how you stay alive on the inside. And that's worth fighting for. Reality 6. Facing your own fragility with grace. In your 80s, one of the hardest truths to face is your own physical fragility. It doesn't happen all at once. You don't wake up one day and feel old, but over time, small things begin to change. Tying your shoes becomes harder. Getting out of a chair takes more effort. Holding a cup steady may require both hands. It's not that you've stopped living, it's that you're reminded in quiet moments that your body now moves with limits. These reminders can shake your confidence. You begin to second-guess going for walks alone or preparing a meal without help. The world starts to feel just a little less safe, and you may start to plan your day not around what you want to do, but what you can safely manage. That shift, though practical, can slowly make your world feel smaller. But fragility doesn't mean weakness. It's not a failure. It's a sign of all the years you've lived, the miles you've walked, the challenges you've faced. It's your body's way of asking you to treat it with more care, more patience, more kindness. And honoring that request is an act of strength in itself. Some try to hide their limitations, pretend they're still 60. But those who accept and adapt, who use the cane, ask for help, or take their time, often stay independent longer. Because strength at this stage of life isn't about pushing through pain. It's about protecting what matters and preserving your energy for the moments that truly count. There's grace in slowing down, pride in adjusting, and dignity in continuing to show up, present, grateful, and wise. You've earned that. So walk gently. Ask for help when needed. And never mistake fragility for failure. It's simply a new kind of strength. Reality 7. The challenge of staying visible. After 80, one of the most painful realities is the slow fade into invisibility. You're still here, still thinking, feeling, learning, but often the world looks past you. People talk over you, not to you. Decisions are made without asking your opinion. You may sit in a room full of people and feel like you're not really there. This kind of invisibility doesn't come from malice. It's usually unintentional. Family members get busy. Society rushes forward, obsessed with youth. Media rarely reflects your face or voice. And over time, you may begin to wonder, do I still matter? The answer is yes. You do. But staying visible takes effort, not because you've lost value, but because the world sometimes forgets to look. You must remind it. Start by speaking up, even when it's easier to stay silent. Share your stories, your humor, your wisdom. Say what you like, what you need, what you believe. Let people know you're still fully alive inside. Visibility also grows through connection. Attend gatherings when you can. Join a club. Reach out to someone, even just for a short chat. You don't need a crowd. One person who truly sees you can change everything. You're not invisible. You're invaluable. Let the world see it. Growing older after 80 isn't easy. It comes with quiet losses, physical changes, emotional weight, and moments of doubt. But it also comes with deep wisdom, hard-earned perspective, and a kind of strength that only time can give. These 7 truths are not meant to discourage you. They're here to help you feel seen, understood, and prepared. Because once you name the challenges, you can face them. You can make choices that honor your independence, protect your spirit, and keep your life meaningful, even in its quieter seasons. You are not a burden. You are not forgotten. Your presence, your experiences, your laughter, and your love still matter, perhaps now more than ever. So be honest with yourself. Accept help when needed. Speak your truth. And keep showing up, with curiosity, compassion, and pride in the road you've walked. You've made it this far not by accident, but by strength. That strength is still within you. And the final chapters of your life deserve to be lived with dignity, purpose, and joy.